Hey guys! Oh shit! It's the wrong way, mother trucker. How do we do this? Oh, hold on. Alright, fuck. I hate when that shit happens because it's like not a surprise that you want, and I try to be on top of it, but it doesn't happen. Um, until you fix it. What was I gonna say? And isn't that the fucking motto in life, right? Doesn't happen until you do something about it. I mean, literally. So let me just get to my channel on here. See what's pop-a-lopping. Oh shit, we going live, kids. We going live. I just want to thank my friend Gabby because today I was feeling down and I'm just kind of over the whole what is it called, like waiting period, and I'm over the whole what is it called, just like patience, okay, like because literally I'm a Sagittarius heart. I am fired the fuck up all the time. I give 100% when it comes to my life, and I give my whole heart towards everything that I do. So a lot of the times, I'm like, I'm like ready to reap my motherfucking rewards. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I put all this work in, and I want some motherfucking results. But then when you don't see some results, especially in the love aspect of life, you're just kind of like, all right, like you kind of feel like things aren't going to change. They haven't been already, right? But that's when you know that things are about to shift. So I'm very grateful to Gabby in terms of her being that called me out of the blue to help her out with something to decipher. Sometimes you just need to talk to a friend about life and how to, like, declutter shit. And so I'm very grateful because she called at the most perfect timing when I was feeling a little low, and I could have also used somebody to talk to. So I was like super grateful that somebody was, utilizing me for, me being alive. Fuck. I mean, like, listen, like, my heart is basically here to help people, and I want to do that. I just haven't, like, I don't know. I haven't set myself up to do so yet. And so that's part of the reason why I'm just kind of a little down lately too. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Okay, so if it's, but yet you so know what the fuck you're doing, right? So it's like you want to call yourself an expert, but it's like, is it really necessary, right? Like it's just not necessary. So to simplify things a lot more, I really wanted to come at you. Because through our talking, I was inspired to do a Sagittarius Venus reading because my heart lies there, okay? So that's basically what it is. It's like if you guys want to look up where you, like, what sign you are in terms of your Venus, you are going to show up in this world, okay? And don't ever fucking hold back on it anymore, because that's your one thing for you to do, is to kind of express your heart. And obviously we're using the midday sun magic, and it's a beautiful confirmation in terms of it getting so bright. So that is your purpose in life, is use your heart towards stuff that needs your heart, right? Like injustices, and sometimes, again, injustices, when we think about like injustices, it's a lot of the times it just has to do with our own hearts. It doesn't have to do with anything outside of us, like a super big fucking big issue, because again, we want to tackle big issues, but we also can't do that without decluttering our own hearts. And in feng shui, which I forgot to add, it's kind of like a feng shui reading, but not really, because feng shui readings to me are super long, the way that I do them, at least, or the way that I've come up with them. So, but the whole thing is, it's like, we're going to do a 3 card spread for the heart, which is actually super powerful. I just thought into that and felt into that. That's what we're going to do here with the illuminated muted, not muted anymore. That's all I got to say. Illuminated Muse tarot, but also it could be muted in terms of just how I've been feeling lately, right? So that came up for a reason too. Maybe Nine of Hearts is what we fucking have to kind of, by the way, well, we have, so sorry, I wanted to say Nine of Hearts is probably, it was at the bottom of the deck when we started shuffling. So maybe that has something to do with this, but also you're going to be a little bouncy because of the fact that we're on my bed. Okay? So just letting you know. I could have made it a little bit better, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But fuck it. Yeah. So, okay, so we're asking the universe for the highest and best 3 cards for those people who have Sagittarius, the sign of Sagittarius in their Venus today. What do we need to know? Do I stop shuffling the cards right here, right now at all? Do you want me to keep going? Do you want me to stop shuffling the cards right here, right now? Do you want me to stop shuffling the cards right here, right now at all? Do I stop shuffling the cards right here, right now? Alright. Is it for my highest best good to stop shuffling the cards right here, right now at all? Okay, they really want me to keep on going. Hey! Do I stop right here? Yes! So again, sometimes my human side is a little off, right? So we gotta always check in, because sometimes like you want to just make sure, especially in transition, that your ego is kind of out of your way, which is always it's always like where I'm coming from, because when I hop on, we don't realize how minute or detailed a transition can be, because me hopping on here is a transition, right? So sometimes I don't give myself the breathing space to be like, okay, let me just breathe first and then start shuffling or whatever. So sometimes when I ask the A team, like, oh, am I done shuffling now? It's basically just me like realigning into they're taking over. It's not me right now, right? So yeah, so we're gonna pull 3 cards, but we're also gonna pull two other cards towards the end, creating. Oh, thank you, A team. Thank you, Heaven, for 7-Eleven is what I just saw. So thank you for being with us, Heaven, and so yeah, I'm gonna pull 2 more cards for my own personal deck that I've created at the end of this video, so that we can kind of have a total of 5 cards, which is going to be my number for belief, okay? So the first card, oh shit, this is crazy. I got this recently, or I think it was in another, maybe it was the other day's daily that it came out. So I guess in the morning, this is what the heart was feeling is, this morning it was feeling really guarded. It felt victorious because it feels strong, and it feels very much so clarity, but the whole thing is like, and there is victory, right? Like the heart feels victorious, but somehow it's still on guard, okay? And the way that this person is looking, it's looking kind of backwards. So it's kind of maybe like reflecting on things in terms of where it's been, to then have come this far and also kind of gain its strength from it, okay? I'm also seeing this roundness of these 2 people to get like the reflection of one another together. And it's like whatever you were kind of maybe feeling down on was just a completion of a cycle, okay? So this completion of a cycle was necessary. So if you were feeling a little down, or you were feeling confused, or you were like really trying to like use the sword to sift through all the bullshit, to be like, yo, we're gonna simplify our lives a lot more, like in terms of down to the fucking, what do you want to call it, the shortest, like if it's a lawn, and you're like cutting your lawn at like the shortest fucking degree, it's like that's how much you've simplified your like the stuff that's in your heart. It's like you're no longer, you've sifted between what you're going to tolerate and what you aren't going to tolerate. This also could be a teaching of, teaching to others in terms of boundaries of the heart, right? So that could have been, and again, I always use a jack as in jack of all trades, because that kind of goes to show you that there was a lot going around the heart space or earlier, like, and literally like there was a lot swirling that like maybe you didn't know, what was going on. Maybe you were in confusion. Maybe you were in just kind of like this, transitional period where you're feeling a little limboistic, if I want to say it that way. And I do. And so the whole thing is like you kind of were like feeling like there was like a lot of movement and stuff, and you're just like, yo, I just want to settle into my heart, right? And I think eventually you did that this morning. You decided to, either with you being quiet and having to be in a quiet space where you settled into your heart, you did that, or you kind of you kind of were just aloof from other people in order to kind of hear your heart better. That's what was going on here. So, but just know that your heart has become very victorious in terms of, standing up for itself, gaining a lot of clarity, also putting boundaries up, and still having them be kept there. And by that, I mean, it's a solid boundary that people can actually visibly and visually see. And thank you, Lakshmi, because I'm gaining. Oh my God, I can cry. Like I just like I have a picture of Lakshmi in front of me. Powerful. So thank you, E-Team. Thank you, Lakshmi. Like I'm just super. Oh my God, it's super powerful what just happened to me. So thank you. I'm just gonna keep going. So long story short, it's like you finally found this flow, okay? This continuous flow. Um, in terms of how to operate your heart on the highest and best level, even though you've been through a lot of shit in order to have gotten there. But it's like you're finally there, and this morning, you may have just felt like a culmination of like a confusion of like, what is it that my heart is supposed to really be doing here, okay? So, what I want to say here is that like you finally reached home, okay? So, it's like you finally reached home in your heart, where you get to be a balance of both compassionate and passionate, which are the color of my nails. I love them. Which is that magenta kind of pink, right? So, you get to be both right now. And, and you've just kind of come into that unison of both of those energies when you were kind of like juggling both energies before. And now you're like, no, 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 I'm going to settle into my heart. And whenever my heart decides to be fucking wild, it will be wild. Whenever it decides to be compassionate and soft and kind, it will be kind. Actually, you can be kind and wild at the same time, guys, just to let you know. And by that, I mean, all truth speakers are literally kind and wild because they're fucking, like, I want to say reckless, but they're fucking, like, such risk takers in speaking truth, which is wild to some people. Like, it comes off looking that way or feeling that way because everybody's not used to receiving the truth, okay? We're seeing the truth for what it is, or whatever the fuck. And now, there you go, confirmation. But the truth, and so you're like wild for speaking up the truth, but the truth is also love. So that is and to deliver truth is basically delivering kindness, okay? Because you're delivering love, you're delivering kindness. And, all truth should essentially be delivered with some sort of mindfulness in terms of being kind, but sometimes a direct hit is exactly what's needed. And that is considered also very wild, okay? So, but the whole thing is, it's like you've allowed yourself to kind of go there. And look at, she's holding 3 cards and we're doing 3 cards here. So it's like, and her cards look like these cards. So it's super funny that I'm getting that. It's like, that's what my heart wanted to do, was pull out fucking cards for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So it's like, jack of all trades, you're utilizing your heart for the best of, yourself, the highest and best good of you, and, and understanding yourself on a deeper level, but also helping others. You know what I'm saying? Trifecta. Trifecta's going on. And what is trifecta? It's inner wisdom, inner love, and inner peace. And there's a harmony amongst all 3 of them. Okay, so that's the culmination that has just reached its peak today, or its closure today, within yourself, really. I mean, within your heart, within yourself, but also outside of you. And I know that, like, today, there must have been something this morning where you possibly received like a what's it called, like a what is it called, like a premonition in terms of how you were going to treat a certain situation, and you actually you actually fucking like ended up, using that solution. Like that scenario ended up coming up for you, and you actually used the solution in terms of, your well thought out comeback towards it, which made you even stronger, which made you even freer, and also more sparked about life, like in terms of I don't give a fuck about what anybody else has to say because I know what's in my heart, and I know that I'm going to utilize it to the best of what my heart needs to feel, and not what anybody else is telling me, or not what anybody else is, is kind of coming up with. Like you kind of, there was something this morning I feel like that you owned your imperfection on, okay? And it made you stronger. And so you kind of like just were like very like the spade is kind of very like there was a download into your heart, in terms of that's what you kind of foreshadowed it happening. And then you used it to your highest best of abilities, and it kind of made you, it really kind of was the turnaround that needed to happen. But also it was to stand up for your own heart, for your own imperfections, and to still accept them for what they were, and what they are, but also to give another person permission to be like, here's how I'm going to treat this situation for myself. But also you gave the other person who was involved permission to do the same for them, and to be like, listen, I'm still alive, and that's still, like it didn't hurt either one of us. So like you got to get real with your heart. You know what I'm saying? So literally by you always sticking up for your heart, you're always going to give permission to another to stick up for their heart, whether you're around for the essence of, you seeing the results or not. It still takes karmic effect. Okay, so just always fucking do that. That's all I'm saying. Oh my god, I don't know what is going on here. What is this? Gosh, my elbow has been hurting. Like it's been like so peeling lately. It's crazy. I've never had that shit happen, but I guess it's like changes. I gotta look up to see what the elbow means. Here's the 9 of spades. All right. I actually have not seen this one in a long time, but I know that this is, well, it's kind of good that it came up in reverse, even though I don't do reverses, but it's kind of like, okay, I just see like a whole bunch of clarity being like kind of acupunctured into your mind today. All right, so it's not like this is like a worrisome card, I feel like, when it's this way, but it came out this way. That's why I'm not changing it, because when it always comes out for the better, I'm just gonna fucking leave it. That's what I decide. Okay. Because you can't, and but either way, these cards, which I love, are kind of more like this, okay, which I like because they're like horizontal, because they kind of mirror image one another. And some of the cards, so it's kind of like, I just feel like you've been feeling a little exhausted. You needed to take a little bit of a nap. You needed to kind of lie down and just be with yourself, and kind of just like because it came out this way. So I want to say it was kind of like Archangel Michael's abundance of swords coming down, and literally like just like as you were napping today, or as you were just kind of taking time for yourself out today, you literally, like it was literally, again, acupuncture, like Archangel Michael was using his swords to, or it's like his sword was multiplied into many swords to acupuncture your ass, like in terms of, your mind, because that's where it's exactly directed at. And it's kind of like you were able to then like kind of like I guess follow through better on what it is that you need for, the upcoming, your upcoming life, like what's about to come. So I feel like these swords are an exchange of like, you've given over some negative thoughts that, you no longer want to feel anymore. You no longer, like, they no longer serve you. And your eyes are wide open to this. Like, you're like, oh my God, whether it was like you received all this communication that was very straightforward and dagger-like, but you needed to hear it to open your eyes, and to kind of also then give you this, I'm seeing this as a cup. Like, it's like water filled in a cup, right? Even though it's the moon. so it's kind of like, your emotions, you needed to hear all of this truth, which is love, which is love and which is kindness, right? To kind of give you that clarity to then fill you up emotionally on this truth because you actually see the truth now, right? It's like it's not only felt through the acupuncturist, but it's like the truth is seen. Like you are very aware of what's going on in your life to then kind of do the feng shui decluttering on all the nouns in your life, which is, people, places, and things. I've always said that. And and to really kind of like have you start filling up your cup emotionally speaking, so you are no longer the baggage underneath your eyes. You are literally going to remove that shit, and so and by removing the baggage, like in your life, you're going to remove the baggage underneath your eyes, which is then going to literally lead you to, filling up your cup of fulfillment. But also, I can see people like crying like joyously because of this. Like this is kind of like a happy face too, a blue happy face, which is kind of like emotional fulfillment, like I said, but also just tears. Like I can see people like just totally wanting to just cry after this beautiful, like after the beautiful culmination of things. So again, a lot of circles, right? A lot of circles. So it's just very beautiful. Do I need to read this card at all? Yeah, I'm not getting that either, but I just wanted to double check. Moving on to the next one. Yes, and again, spades to me are downloads. So these are like Archangel Michael downloads to be like, this is what you need to do. Also, it's like these cards are kind of on the cooler side of life in terms of the colors that are being used. So I feel like today's like a very gentle, go with the flow, be super calm, cool, and collected about things, and you'll get shit done, right? Yeah, moving on to the, holy fuck, I love it. So Ace of Hearts. Oh my God. This is so beautiful because this is like, okay, so when I, how amazing. Okay, so I was just talking about a full cup, right? So you're like, oh, filling up your cup, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam! Like, it's like, fuck yeah, like now we're like over, your cup is overfloweth, right? So again, I mean, I love this card because it really kind of takes its own energy. Like it doesn't, like you don't even have to ever explain this card because I feel like it usually is what it is, and it's a very happy card. It's interesting how we have to kind of not explain happiness because we all know what happiness is and we all understand it and we all can like concur it. But when it comes to like different fucking like, like kind of the cooler vibrations or the vibrations that are, maybe like more emotional, like we have to like really understand it, we have to connect to it more, because the good cards, or they're all good cards, but like the extra good cards, like the extra positive cards are usually like, the ones that have their own power, where it's like everybody just like knows that it's like, oh, it's a good card and you don't really have to explain it, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it takes its own energy, so which is beautiful because of the fact that it goes to show you that for the really deeply emotions, kind of on the shadow emotions that we have, sometimes it's like we do need to connect to those in order to sift through them a lot better. So emotional decluttering is actually very huge, and you can only get Ace of Hearts, okay, when you emotionally declutter shit. And by that I mean, I've said it for a very long time. It's either you talk to a friend, you write it out, you go kind of, you research it out. Like, let's say you're kind of like feeling a certain way and you're like, okay, like, I want to feel this way, so I'm going to research out comedy, right? And I'm just going to fucking listen to comedy. And like, not to say that you need to ignore your emotions, but it's kind of like, it's like you want to be able to just really bounce back to this high enthusiastic enthusiastic emotions as quick as possible so that you don't really party with these other emotions, right? So, and then when it comes up, because everything is in divine timing, when it comes up, you will deal with it. But there you go. And not all things are meant to be dealt with right away. Sometimes you just have to let your kind of like let the bricks fall into place. Like I always think like life is like a whole like big Tetris game. It's like you're waiting for the right piece to fall into place to then begin talking about all these emotions, right? Whether you need to meet the right person who talks to people about their emotions, or you can feel out like a new person that's supposed to step into your life where they have a lot of experience with certain emotions and you feel comfortable in talking with them, so then you kind of sift through this, right? So it's kind of like it's very interesting in how life ebbs and flows. Like but I feel like sometimes, like if you're a person like me, like you're ready for yourself, you're ready to sift out through these fucking emotions like ASAP, like so quick, where it's like I'll do it myself. I'll give like, I'll look at it from a spiritual standpoint. Excuse me, I'm burping and releasing at the same time. Because that's what it is. So yeah, so it's like I do it quick because I don't want any clutter around my heart. Like I think that's like the most ridiculous thing, is to have the clutter around your heart. So you kind of do the sifting right away as it comes up, so that you can get this and you can like quicker, and you can literally experience this on a very high level, rather than this comes around, you're not even fucking grateful for it. It's like, no. When this cup comes around, I want to fucking see this cup for what it is. And I want to know that I fucking worked hard and deserve that. So I can cry these motherfucking happy tears, okay? Like, wah! And I could really enjoy myself, right? So and also have this be prolonged, because that's, you don't want, why would you want your happiness to fucking have a short life, right? So, and again, gratefulness is really big, because as much as the more, put it this way, the more you bring gratefulness and gratitude into your life, the more prolonged your Ace of Hearts can be, right? So Ace of Hearts, this is like, your cup is full, you're overflowing with happiness. You're emotionally, I did feel that you're going to be emotionally like super like happy and crying about things. I love how the heart is depicted as like it's like your creative expansion that is actually, what's the word? Like stabilizing you. It's your foundation, right? It's the stand that's holding your cup. Like that's what your heart is, So there's a beautiful depiction of like how foundational heart work and is your groundwork, and should be your gratitude work, right? In terms of like, when you feel gratitude, it's in your heart. So it's kind of like, it's so big that like when people say that they don't believe in like, love and shit, it's like, well, that's your problem. You have to do some decluttering to fucking believe that love is fucking real. You know what I'm saying? And unjade yourself, unfuck yourself, really, when it comes down to it. And by doing the unfuck yourself work, it's to more so love yourself work and love what your heart is so passionate about, and do more of that, right? To then again, meet new people, declutter and sift out what's no longer needed, and gain the clarity that you need to kind of close things out and gain clarity for yourself even further down the line. So so it's really beautiful. So by the end of today, you will be feeling very much so like so full-hearted, your cup is so full. Let me grab, that's so beautiful. And you're going to be on fire. Like, look how passionate that card is because of the passionate colors, right? So you're going to be literally feeling like like this is like you might be in a calm mode right now. Like, it's funny, I have a purple blanket on me, so it's like I'm like in a calm, like collected, like today I even said to myself, I said, it's one of those days where I feel like I was like, you know what, it's not my off day, but it is my completely like energetic off day, where I just feel like today it hit me out of the blue, where I was like, as long as I get a reading done, I would be so happy, right? And that's the only, like, it's like very simple, like just get one thing done, and everything else can fucking like work itself into my life. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, other than that, I'm not doing shit today. That's what I meant by that, you know? So it's kind of like just do what you can today, like just to literally get through your emotions, you know what I'm saying? And don't worry about the fucking rest. Like sometimes you really have to like simplify your shit. So much so where it's just kind of like, you know, where it's just kind of like, here are my cards. I'm so excited. Yeah, sometimes you just have to simplify yourself so much so where it's like you can only handle like just a little bit at a time. Like it's not even something like you can't do everything all at once. You know, even though you're healthy and happy and all that stuff, it's like amen, but like sometimes you just it's lifing is like it's work, man. It's work. And today I was just like, nah, I don't fucking feel like it. Like it's just emotionally like I'm not in it, you know? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the A team real quick. A team, thank you so much for being here. Let me just make sure that this is all okay. A team, thank you so much for placing the highest and best yin card at the top of this deck for the Sagittarius Venus, for the Sagittarius is placed in Venus, or you know what I mean. I can't even speak, but they know what I mean. Yeah, whatever this video is about, what do we need to hear? The highest and best card, please. Do we stop shuffling the cards right here and right now at all? No. All right. Right here and right now. Do we stop shuffling the cards? Yes. Oh, this is so beautiful, guys. Peace begins with the smile. Okay, so again, talking about simplicity, that's like literally like that's exactly what we needed to do. Is like we needed to heal today, you know. So again, what I'm getting out of this card is you had to, first of all, be centered in your peace today. That's basically why you had to take a time out. Because there was a lot swirling around you going on and understanding and all this stuff. And maybe even from prior, because this could be a past card. So maybe even from prior, it's like, dude, there was just so much work going on. So, and what's amazing is that all of your work actually now begins to reward you with peace, right? And this is probably why you put so much work into your life as of late, is to make sure that in the future you have more of this peace than anything else, because that is what you really value and treasure, okay? And by this fortune cookie saying that you have gained peace, okay? Thank you, 18. You literally have used your wisdom, have used your genuine wisdom, your genuine love to basically result yourself in the form of peace. Like that's basically what you've built for yourself by consistently using your genuine wisdom and your genuine love in your life for yourself and for others, because again, as you do for yourself, you do for others as well. You just might not see it. So that you brought peace to yourself and you're bringing peace to others. But again, we're talking about simplicity, which is like peace begins with a smile. So again, if you can just smile today and just like watch some comedy today, it's like your heart. And this is definitely, so this is interesting. This is like this, these are like, again, the two colors that blend for magenta for me is the red and the pink. Okay. So the red and the pink is like a magenta. So again, you're feeling very balanced. Okay. And how you're going to balance it out is through your compassion and your passion of your divine wisdom and of your divine, love. So that's what you've been doing, you know? And so today just it requires like, you know, your heart is really just needs to simply smile in terms of all of its achievements, all of its accomplishments that it's been through, and it will continue to do so. But also what I'm getting is ease. There's such ease. So peace is easy, you know? Actually, peace sometimes isn't easy, but once you get there, it's easy to to make sure that it's implemented and it's brought to the table at any scenario in your life, okay? So if you've gained inner peace, you're gonna want to maintain that shit, okay? Because not a lot of people have that shit in their life. So I just want to let you know that that is a huge motherfucking accomplishment. Hence the victorious card, and also it's the victorious flag rather, sorry, in the card. And also it's funny because it's like the yin is the inside, so it's definitely talking about the heart, you know, and pink is the heart chakra. So beautiful alignment in how we're talking about our heart today, you know. Again, it's just like all confirmation, all beautiful alignment, and especially with it being under, you know, this type of aspect of you having to sift through a lot, like you've had to, like, you know, finish off a cycle, finish off a phase, finish off a chapter in your life. One of the things, like, there's something left over for you to kind of like just heal from, and then, you know, you gain this peace. So there's a transformation happening in your heart where it's like it was all done for peace, you know. So do I talk about the bottom of the deck at all in this? Okay, yeah, because I just looked at the bottom of the deck and it said you will have good luck in your personal affairs. So there's you know, the peace begins with a smile. You will have good luck in your personal affairs, hence the ace at the end, right? So again, it's just you're all working for this good luck in your personal affairs. That's what you were working so hard towards, so that you can actually feel the peace amongst all of your personal affairs, okay? So, and by that, you're going to celebrate with a smile for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Okay, so that is so beautiful. Next, we're going to ask for a Yang card. Thank you, A-Team. Thank you, Heaven, for sending us. And thank you, Lakshmi, and thank you, Illuminated Muse, motherfucker. Thank you all yeah, thank you, me. Thank you all. Thank you, Heart. Those that watch over me, for blessing us with the highest and best Yang card that we need to, that our hearts need to know about, that us Sag hearts need to know about. Thank you. Do I stop shuffling the cards right here now at all? Clear now on that. Do I stop shuffling cards right here right now at all as well? Okay. Do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now at all? It's interesting because also when you ask, right, you have to have patience for it to kind of kick in terms of an answer. Or in terms of them understanding and then them gifting you an answer, right? So there's a process to it. You can't have it all right now, you know, sometimes. Is it for my highest and best good to stop shuffling the cards right here, right now? All right. So they're saying yes, and it's another pink motherfucking card. What's up? What's up? So beautiful. All confirmations about, you know, the heart, which is, thank you, A-Team. It goes to show you that this was a needed reading for today. Yay. And very much so inspired. So I'm very grateful. It says the star of riches is shining on you this month. And it's beautiful because, again, there's a lot of moon energy, right, that we're just coming out of. And, you know, star of riches is shining. So to me, star is believing. So believing in your richness, your wealth. It's shining on your life this month as you kind of, and in a big way, because this is a yang, and this is also very much so maybe you possibly sharing this, like sharing your wealth in terms of your shine, and riches, and pouring it onto others, right? So again, we're talking about a cup overfloweth. So you could be pouring it onto others as you are living it, right? And again, it's all about the authentic heart. So, you know, you have to live it in order to share it, right? So a lot of people, I don't want to go too deep into this because, like, I think I'm giving you enough, like, depth, you know, info in terms of what your heart needs to know. But the whole thing is, it's like, with this, it's kind of like you work towards all of it and you are actually going to share it with those that you feel deserve it around you. So again, there's a trifecta between, what's being downloaded to you today in terms of this month, in terms of this moon, and this moon cycle, and how it's being, I love how, I didn't even realize spades are hearts. So again, we're talking about hearts too, and that's a confirmation of us getting really awesome cards for today. So I love it. Thank you, 18. So the whole thing is, it's like, you're coming to this like final realization of things with the Nine of Hearts, and how you're going to live your life for the better. And so that's going to end up having you fully shine your riches, out loud and out in the world. And, it's just going to be kind of illuminating out of you is basically what's going on, right? And I see these lines here as like, you might not see it, but I see these lines in terms of like, shooting star type of, tales going out into the future. So it's kind of like, you're getting your answers and you're implementing them in your life, and then that'll help you kind of move forward in terms of living a better life, and which you will be doing, like which you will absorb and understand and change, voluntarily change around, so that you can literally enjoy these riches and shining, you know what I'm saying? And stardom, if anything. Like, maybe that's what's happening here, is like, you're going to end up being known for something. And again, this is not only the heart-based reading where like the Sag is in your, Venus, placement. And I never know how to say that fucking thing, but if you guys know what I mean, it's like, I never know, because I'm always like reversing it, like, whatever. I know you know what I meant there, but it's not only for this reading per se, it's also the energy of today, which is, I'll post it up a little later, in terms of, what we're known for. So fame and reputation is a very big day today for, the collective, right? So the whole thing is, it's like your heart is just being downloaded all this beautiful stuff, all this beautiful wisdom and love, to, out of the peace alignment of it all, so that you can literally move forward and kind of even take leaps and bounds of this joyousness where you're just like, okay, I already cleaned and decluttered a lot of the shit that was going on in my heart and in my mind, like mind and heart together. And then you literally, and this is mind and heart, this is absolutely that, where you're literally like you're allowing yourself to jump for joy here, in terms of, you finally understanding what you need to do for yourself, and keeping up with it in terms of, habitually speaking, like that's what you need to do for yourself. That's what you're gonna, in this lifetime, you're gonna implement this shit for yourself because you deserve it. And, and you get to share more gratitude out of it. You get to share more love, more light, more, joy, wisdom, harmony, flow, and riches. Obviously, riches is popping out at me. So it's like, there's something here today that you're going to just end up really getting paid very well for, that you're figuring out today, that maybe it's being downloaded to you today, like what your purpose is here. And so what I want to say is, your purpose literally has a lot to do with where your Venus line is, I feel, because it has a lot to do with your heart. So if you want to tell your friends, I know that this is just for Sages, but if you want to tell your friends, that's maybe where they, like, if you have a friend that doesn't know what to do with their life, like, maybe that's what you need to kind of relay to that friend. And is like, hey, I learned this today. Look up your, where your Venus is, your Venus line or whatever. And, and really just go forth with that zodiac sign and just own the fucking shit out of it, so that you can actually become this expert in life when it comes to what, your heart feels like the world needs. Okay. So super huge. Do I share the bottom of this deck right now at all? Okay. No. So they're telling me no. I don't even know. I didn't even read what the fuck it said, because I too listen up just like you do. Sometimes I look, sometimes I don't, depending. And that's all divinely guided too, right? So, all right, guys. So, that is your, that is your reading for today. Thank you so much. I think I might actually implement this in for every Thursday or maybe even more often than that. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But I'm very grateful that you were the first ones to see this. And yeah, and by the way, I'm not going to be doing any other ones because, I promised myself that I'm only going to do stuff that resonates with me in this life. So because I want to be able to kind of compassionately connect and be able to just explain it from the heart, right? So in this scenario, it's very much so me. This is like my Venus for me, or again, I don't know how to explain it. Sagittarius is in Venus for me, so hence why I'm only going to be doing, Venus, Sagittarius and Venus readings, okay? Because I just feel like, that's gonna be like my strongest fucking point, and so that's what I'm gonna do for the world is just these Sagittarius Venus readings. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where my heart can connect with most easily and most kind of focusedly, right? So you can also tell your friends not to expect I'm going to be doing another fucking Venus reading. It's just going to be plain old Sagittarius because, again, that is where my expertise will come into play, okay? Because I have to also be able to feel it more outstandingly than the others for me to kind of gift you the highest and best quality of readings, all right? So there you go, guys. I love you so much. Yeah, and we'll talk soon. Bye! Love you, love you.